It's amazing the solicitations you get for everything. Somewhere they find out that you're old and retired, and they think, well, he might have something. We want it.
Everybody's out to put fear in you and scam you to see what else they can get.
I grew up in the Depression era, and we didn't even have to lock our doors at night. You knew everybody. You don't know everybody anymore.
According to the AARP, older people who fall for scams tend to believe the pitches they hear. We're delighted to welcome Special Agent Sandra Berchtold to our show. Sandra, thanks for being with us.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Now, you've agreed to join us today so that we can talk about some of these scams and swindles. And I'd like to cover in this segment with you how these con artists use a telephone to dupe individuals that are older. For instance, jury service. I read on your website that this is a big scam that's going on.
People often get letters in the mail from, it could be their county jury, their federal grand jury, to serve on, to serve in court jury status. One of the schemes that this jury service is you'll get a call out of the blue going, why weren't you at jury duty? You didn't get a notice in the mail. The government sends notices to you when you have jury duty. They'll say, you didn't show up, don't you know that they've issued a warrant for your arrest? It is your civic and civil duty to show up for duty when summoned by the government. So by not showing or them pretending you didn't show, you're now afraid that you've committed some sort of a crime. So they'll say, well, we can get you out of this. We'll help get you out of this. Well, they'll ask for some personal information first to confirm who you are. They'll say, well, you are Mr. John Smith, aren't you? When you say, well, yes. And I'm like, well, could you confirm your date of birth for me? And then you'll tell them your date of birth. Well, because there's a couple John Smiths in the area, we want to make sure we have the right one. Could you give me your social security number just so we can double check that in our database as well? Well, there's 3 very important pieces of information that they just received from you. And with those 3 pieces of information, they can go off and running onto any type of fraud they may want to perpetrate.
Now, does the federal government or a county, do they ever make telephone calls like that?
Everything I've seen, you will get something in the mail. So they don't send emails, they don't call you on the telephone, they will send you a paper copy.
So the jury service scam we have to watch out for. What about the grandma scam?
We've actually received a lot of complaints on our tip lines regarding this scam. The older generation, those grandmas, grandpas out there who have grandkids, in the middle of the night, they may get a frantic call from somebody saying, hey, Grandma, it's me. Don't you understand? I'm in trouble. Yes, it's me. So they will play in. They're excellent in playing into these scams. They will elicit the information out of you and be able to turn it around on you. Oh my God, I've been arrested, or I've been in a car accident in Canada. I need your help. I couldn't get a hold of Mom or Dad, or I can't get a hold of anybody else. Nobody's answering the phone. Please, I need you to send money to help me get out of this.
Now, wouldn't the older adult recognize the person's voice, though?
Not necessarily. Like I said, they're calling in the middle of the night. The person, the grandparent could be a little disoriented, and you're just concerned for your grandchild. That's your family. That's your child's child. You want to do everything to help. And and once they have a name out of you, hey Brian, is that you? And you say, yeah, it's Brian. Oh my God, Grandpa, Grandma, you got to help me. That's what they do. They grandparents.
Well, how do they get the money out of you?
They'll ask you to wire it. Most of the times we hear something to like Canada. Oh, I'm just across the border in Canada, and that's a great thing for we're here in Michigan. We're very close to the Canadian border. It's very believable that if you have a grandchild in this area, they could be just across the river. Mm-hmm. And once, and they'll like, go to Western Union, go get a MoneyGram and send it to me over here in Canada. And they'll be waiting on the other side of the border ready to get the money.